What's goody? I'm Queen G22, Ninja Turtles gaming geek stuff and travel. And hello, Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, so let's just chat a little bit about it real quick, but kind of not really, but yeah, it will be. I wanted to do my own little review after some time. I feel like a lot of people were just first impressions, they were just like, ah, and you know, and put out a stuff. If you weren't impressed by the Switch 2 when you turned it on, then maybe you needed to spend a little bit more time with it. That's how I feel. I was absolutely impressed with the Switch 2 as soon as I got it to work. If you guys saw my Switch 2 unboxing and recap of GameStop, and you know there's not going to be any Nintendo slander here, no. But this is a safe space, so I understand that it's okay to agree to disagree, right? That's what makes us awesome. And not everything is everyone's cup of tea, and I know that. But I do think it's kind of necessary to debunk some of those myths that are being said and misinformation. I don't know why that is. Is it because of lack of intelligence, or, you know, you just didn't take the time to find out exactly what you were getting with the Nintendo Switch 2? And now, I'm not a professional, I don't know everything, but there are a few things where I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? That is absolutely not true. If you're not a Nintendo fan, period, then just say that. If your life is miserable, stop trying to bring the rest of us down that are having a fantastic time with our Switch 2s. I absolutely adore this thing. And yes, there are some double standards, which is interesting, which again, if you're not a Nintendo fan, you should just say that instead of saying all this crazy stuff that is not true. So let's get started. You know what, before we get all the way involved talking about the Switch 2, why don't we ask Super Mario? Yes, Super Mario Brothers. I talk to Super Mario, and so can you. With polybuzz AI, you can talk to any cartoon character, any anime character, any video game character, almost anyone you want, which, by the way, shout out to polybuzz AI for they are sponsoring this video. Okay, so let's talk to Mario and see what his thoughts are on the Nintendo Switch 2. Let's see what he says. He might be busy. You know, I text the guy every now and then, see what he's cracking. Okay. Hey Mario, just curious, what are your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2? Let's see what he's got to say.
It's a masterpiece. The new features like the OLED screen and Joy-Con attachments are amazing, making even more fun.
Wow, okay, let's see. I'm curious, what else do you like about the Nintendo Switch 2 compared to the Nintendo Switch 1? Mario counts on his fingers while bouncing on his toes.
Well, it's lighter, has better sound quality, and those L and R trigger buttons are so useful. Plus, that kickstand feature is game-changing.
It is game-changing. Okay, so maybe Mario is a little bit, you know, biased. Okay, so why don't we go to the layer and see what my favorite guys, my favorite green fighting action heroes have to say about the Nintendo Switch 2. Okay, so I haven't talked to them since this morning. Let's see. Hey, Donatello and Raphael, what do you guys think about the Nintendo Switch 2? It says, okay, Donnie perks up from his tools, visibly excited. Donatello says, oh man, I heard about that. The enhanced graphics and dual screen capabilities would be perfect for my tech, right? Totally something Donatello would say. And Raphael says, Switch 2, what's so special about it? Can I beat my current system? That's exactly something that Raphael would say. But anyways, it's a lot of fun. You guys should definitely download polybuzz app. Talk to anyone who you want, even an AI Queen G22. I'll have the link in the description, and if you use the code Queen22, you will unlock all of the premium features. But anyways, I think one of the biggest things that there is misconception about is the game key cards, right? Game key cards, game key cards, game key cards. Oh my God, nobody likes game key cards. Honestly, I don't give a dude. I put it in and the game will play, right? That's all that I care about. Yes, as a retro gamer, I am a huge fan of the nostalgic memories, and one of the things that Nintendo used to be really known for is that you were going to get your game on the cartridge. So I feel like Nintendo's reputation that has been in the past, which is kind of always been the family fun console and the cheaper console. But now that Nintendo is trying to give the Nintendo gamers the experience that gamers are getting with Xbox and PlayStation, it's a problem. And why is that? I mean, like I said, go ahead and put in the comments, why is that a double standard with Nintendo? Like, I feel that's really odd. First off, you don't need internet to play your game on the game key card. Myth, fact, you do need the internet to download it. And if the internet is an issue for you, I think that's completely separate. If you live in a world where you don't have to use the internet for something. Once the game is downloaded, once you've used your little internet bytes to download the game, you can play the game. Don't believe me? There are plenty of other gamers that have shown this example on YouTube, and I thought that was really neat to show us that yes, you can play the game without the internet after you download it. So that is something that I think needed to be cleared up. As far as like the double standard, right? And people are like, you know, what are you talking about? But I think there's enough information going around now where people are talking about Xbox and PlayStation and how they have been doing this for a while. Call of Duty and even Doom the Dark Ages that has just come out. It only has 60 megabytes of that game on the thing. So I was just like, why? Like, why if Nintendo wants to do it? Well, you know, why is that a problem? I feel like information is key. You should get your information first before you start slandering and talking shit about something you really don't know anything about. And then people were talking about the Nintendo first party games and stuff like that. It appears, as of right now, from the time that I have recorded this video, that all of Nintendo's first party games are on cartridge. So, myth, not all Nintendo games are gonna be on the cartridge. Fact, yeah, they are, at least right now. So there's no reason to get upset about that. And honestly, I really just don't see why, you know, it's such a big deal. These third-party games that are using the game key cards is not necessarily for Nintendo to save money. It's for the third parties to save money so that they can give us the gaming experience that we need to have in order to truly enjoy the game, you know, the product that they're putting out there for us. This isn't just Nintendo. This is a collaborative idea that was implemented so that everyone could be happy, including the gamers, so that we have access to play these third-party games that look freaking amazing, not just on the deck, but portable, walking around with this high quality game in your hands, playing it not as close as playing the PS5, but again, the game is freaking portable. Like, what else do you want? I think that's pretty amazing. And obviously this was something that they all agreed on and was the best way to bring us these games. So the fact that people are upset about it, it's just like, wow, you can't just smile and be happy that you have the game now? I am. I've always wanted to play a Yakuza game and super excited to play that here in my game room, and then also while I'm traveling. I think that's awesome. Cyberpunk, I was, you know, kind of diddle-daddling, like, do I want to play that game? I'm not sure if that was my cup of tea, but now that I've played other games like Expedition 33, I'm wondering what else can I play? Cyberpunk 77 looks freaking amazing, and Cyberpunk 77 is one of the games that you get the whole entire game on the cartridge, so that's pretty neat. Now, other games like Street Fighter 6, yeah, it looks really, really good. Again, not as good as the PlayStation 5, but pretty freaking good. Split Fiction, I will agree. Now, Split Fiction is kind of funky. If you go to purchase it, it doesn't have the white strip at the bottom of the cartridge that shows you that it is a game key card. It's kind of got a smaller version of that, and it is a 100% complete download. So that's kind of like, hey, like I said, I can be honest. I can say some things about Nintendo that I'm like, really? Y'all did us like that? Split Fiction is one of those games where it's just like, you're selling us a piece of worthless plastic for $50. And speaking of money, let's talk about the price. $499 for this beautiful baby? Yes, I feel like that's super easy. I know that a lot of people are upset about the price of this. Why though? Why? How much were you willing to pay for the Xbox and the PlayStation 5? Why is it that you're getting a better console, an upgraded console with better resolution, comes in 4K HDR and better frames per second, you expect to pay the same price as its predecessor? That's weird to me. That's like going to Taco Bell and looking at the menu and seeing an original regular taco, then asking for the taco supreme, and when they tell you that it costs 30 cents more, you lose your shit. Like, and you're like, why? And they'll tell you, well, because the taco comes with sour cream and tomatoes, maybe a little bit more meat, so you get more than the original taco, and you still can't fathom why it costs more than that. I think you need to watch another video, because I'm not gonna dive into that, but we're getting so much more in this thing. Like I said, I adore this. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. It wasn't like when I got the Xbox X. When I got the Xbox X, honestly, the only thing that I noticed like right away was a little bit faster downloading times, but I wasn't like blown away by, you know, the graphics and the resolution and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't. But I knew that if I wanted to play more Xbox games that are going to be coming out, that are going to be coming out for the Xbox X, and were going to be better quality games, I needed a better quality console. So I don't know. You guys tell me, is the math mathing to you? Because it's, in my mind, my math is mathing to me, but some of the other math is not really making sense. And with that, I feel like life in general is just getting more expensive. You know, the cost of labor keeps going up. How are companies supposed to afford stuff when everything else is going up? So if everything else is going up, guess what? Our shit's gonna go up too. And look, I'm not happy about it. Obviously, if I could get a Switch 2 for $2, that would make me very happy. But I do understand that value is in the eyes of the beholder, and $499 for a immaculate console that I can take with me, I'm not fazed by that. Again, value is in the eyes of the beholder. And also, well, with price, myth, every game is gonna be $80. No, every game is not $80. Mario Kart freaking World is. Is that expensive for a game? Yeah. Can we justify it? I think that's a really good question. I really freaking can. I mean, we played Mario Kart Deluxe 8 for 10 freaking years, and maybe longer than that if you played it for the Nintendo Wii U. And then they came out with DLCs and all this kind of stuff. Mario Kart World has the potential to be around for a very long time. So why wouldn't you expect to pay for that? I don't know. It's just me. You know, it's just me. And Mario Kart World is so much more than what it was. If you saw my video when I unboxed it and I played a little bit of Mario Kart World, remember I was like, this feels like Mario Kart World. Oh gosh, this is Mario Kart World on, I said, oh gosh, this is freaking Mario Kart, right? Mario Kart World is Mario Kart on steroids. It is so in-depth with all this extra stuff, walls, ramps, shortcuts, just driving completely off the road. There is a lot of strategy into that game. And you know, I have a simple mind, right? And so for a minute, it was taking me a while, like, no, I need to stay on the road. But if you want to win, if you want to compete online, you have to figure out other ways to get to that finish line. And it's really neat. Makes me a little bit anxious, right? Because I'm just used to staying on the tracks and what I know from Mario Kart. But Mario Kart World has got a lot going on. It might even be too much for me. I don't know yet. I'm still practicing. It's an $80 game. It is what it is. It costs to be the boss. No, Donkey Kong Bonanza that's coming out in a little bit is not $80. Not every freaking game is $80, but Mario Kart World is. Mario Kart World is. Bricking. I feel no kind of way about bricking. I know a lot of people are like, well, you don't even own your console. Well, if you really look at the agreements that you get into with like Xbox and even Apple, you don't own that either. Technically, you don't. Again, we're the consumers, we're gamers, and we just want to have the best experience, right? But they're running a business. So if you steal from them and they catch you, they're gonna brick your shit, and that's just how it goes. I don't think I've done anything crazy to a console since my Wii, right? The homebrew thing and did all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was fun, that was cool to have everything on there. And I know they're like, well, we should be able to do whatever we want to our own consoles. I agree with that, but are you stealing? If you're stealing and you get caught, that is what it is. Me, I don't do that. I pay for my games, so I guess I don't have that problem. There were some people that had issues. They said they had downgraded, saved their games on these outside third-party type cards. Well, again, if Nintendo feels like you're stealing from them, they're gonna come after that ass. Me, as a business person, I would too, so I feel no kind of way. I'm not doing it, so I don't have that issue. If you are one that wants to hijack your Switch 2, good luck to you, and I hope that works out for you. But me, I just don't want the smoke, and I'm fine with that. And then the last myth that I'm going to address, not that there aren't others, is backwards compatibility. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Stop saying that it's not. Now, there are a lot of original Switch games that now look so good on the Switch 2. They look great. This little beauty just has the ability to make some of these games look fantastic. As soon as I finish Expedition 33, I just need time, y'all. I know I keep saying I'm still playing this freaking game. I'm finally gonna jump into Xenoblade Chronicles X, and I'm actually excited that I waited for this because I've already sampled it and it looks great. However, yes, there are some Switch games that the way that they're optimized, they do not play better on the Switch 2. They just don't. And I think a big game like Witcher 3 is one of those games. Everything's not freaking perfect. Have you never ordered anything from a restaurant and said, I don't want this, and it freaking came with that and you had to send it back? Same with like the drift thingies. I think these Joy-Cons, like I said on my unboxing, is freaking awesome. I love how easy it is that they snap on and how easy it is you can take them off. And some people have drift issues. Okay, well, Nintendo said they would fix it for you. So what is the problem now? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I guess I'm more of a glass half full type chick than a glass half empty. It could be worse. And there are a lot of things going on right now that are a lot worse than our little console problems, I guess is what I'm getting to. Let's talk about something that is kind of like, psh, okay, that's kind of tough, right? The battery. The battery life, okay, so there's two parts to this. The battery life technically does not last as long as the original, as the OLED, right? And I'll keep it 100. The OLED surprised me completely because with my original, I just got used to always having a charger with me. So it was nothing, a backup charger. And now there are companies that actually have backup chargers that actually magnetic to the back of this thing, which is pretty neat. But it doesn't have the same amount of battery life that the OLED does. But again, we're talking about a higher performing console. This thing is doing a lot of things portable wise too. It's gonna suck up some battery. It needs the freaking battery in order to power this machine. Now, the second part of that is that Nintendo did put out a statement saying that they think there is a glitch within the console already. This is the day one console, that the battery is stating that it has less battery than what it actually has. And if I remember, I'll try to link it, or you can freaking YouTube it, but there is a way to go into the system. You have to do like a hard reset, and it actually fixes the battery so it's more accurate to tell you what kind of battery life. And I think if you don't fix it, then it'll get down to like 1%, but technically you still have about an hour left of gaming, depending on what type of game you're playing, how demanding it is. So, I don't know what to tell you. You can fix the glitch if you want, or keep a freaking battery pack with you like I always do, or play it on the dock. There's ways to keep playing and enjoy the Switch 2 if you want to. And then another thing with the high performance, like I stated on my unboxing thing, when I just tried to switch out the docks, I could not play my Switch 2 on my TV with my OLED power brick and the HDMI thing. I had to use the HDMI cord and the power supply that the Switch 2 came with it, because it needs that extra amount of power in order to power this thing. And I don't know, if you want to go around walking around with a half-ass console with your OLED and your Switch, then you should do that. But I don't know. I don't mind the few little bumps in the road to enjoy a really cool thing. And it's not like there weren't any issues with PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, or the Xbox when they released as well. But you know, it's Nintendo, and I guess some of us just love to hate it. Okay, so overall, can you tell how I feel about the Switch 2? This is my baby. I sing to her almost every single night. I adore her. I think Nintendo and their thought process on bringing us an even better experience than what we already had, because when the Switch dropped, or even freaking the Wii U, but we weren't ready for the Wii U. When the Switch dropped, that changed gaming, and Nintendo is so innovative. They're always thinking of new ways for us gamers to experience gaming in a positive way, and I think that's great. So I love it. I love the sleekness. I love the weight. I love the look of it. I love the Joy-Cons. I'm not mad about any of that. I love that we can play our games in 4K, in HDR, in higher frames per second, in better resolution. I am loving that. I think overall, this little machine is something to reckon with. I love how they've adapted the game chat. Now, I have not had the opportunity yet, because I've been doing so much sticking and moving, to game with my friends and use the game chat. Yeah, the camera that it comes with is not the greatest, and yeah, the camera quality on the screen is not fantastic and crystal freaking clear. Is that a deal breaker for me? No, it's not. I think it's really cool that you can kind of jump into the game. It's seamless, it's easy to do, to get the game chat and get everyone in your party and start playing. And I think that's really, really awesome. As far as it picking up your voice, again, I'm just going off of what other people said, because I have not had the chance to experience it yet. So please add me on Nintendo Switch, that it picks up the voice really, really clearly. So it looks so much fun. And I love that Nintendo has implemented this. Probably down the line, we'll have better quality type stuff for the cameras, but I don't think it's something to rip and rage over about and be upset and be like, oh, well, I'm gonna trade this in. I also love how now on the eShop they have a For You section. So based upon the type of games that you've been playing, that now it'll try to recommend some games similar to that. I think that's awesome. Whereas before, you know, it would just always say, you know, for the browse and the top rated, all this kind of stuff. Now they've even got a section for the highest rated of recent releases and stuff like that. Like, I really feel like Nintendo is really tuning in, listening to what the gamers want, and giving it to us. They are freaking delivering. So give them a break, smile, give this thing a chance if you're bored. And if you're worried about all the freaking games that drop, first of all, Mario Kart World is the biggest launch game in a long time, if not ever. And you can't deny, what was it, 3.5 million copies of this baby was sold in the first few days. It's doing big things. Open your eyes and just try to get it, unless, you know, it's just not your cup of tea, and that's fine. Just say that, but you don't have to talk shit about it just because you don't like it. This thing is a This thing is freaking awesome. I adore this thing. Let me know what you guys think about the Switch 2. Do you have any other myths that you know about that we should debunk? And yeah, don't forget to add me on Nintendo Switch. I'm Queen G22.